And today we invite 3 ministers to the corridor to answer some of your interested questions. They are Minister of Natural Resources, Minister Guan Zhiou, Minister of Culture and Tourism, Sun Yeli, and the Director of General Administration of Sport, Gao Zhidan. Now let's welcome the First Minister to the corridor. Now the floor is open to questions. Thank you. People's Daily. Good afternoon, Mr. Guan. In the government work report, we talk about we should safeguard that the arable land right line, what measures the Ministry of Natural Resources will take to maintain that arable land above the right line. Thank you very much for your question. And this is a very important question because our land related to the national's development and also people's well-being. Since the 18th National Congress, we safeguard the 1.8 billion mu of the arable land, supporting the development of the food security. And also this year government report and also the #1 document also identified tasks in this regard, especially the quantity and quality and ecological conservation related in this regard. We need to do the 3 things. First, we should maintain the quantity. And we should target our plan to the number identified in the plans, make sure that we also manage the arable land in one map. And also based on that one map, we also to develop the arable land and to a more intelligent development, so we could get a full picture of the arable land. And we also need to understand that the spatial relocation and also make sure that if the land is used for non-agricultural purpose, we also need to identify the exact number for that compensation and also make sure that there's no cheating happened in this process. And in terms of that spatial allocation, we should base on that the survey and analysis. And we need to, first of all, overhaul the existing arable land, make sure that we have that the targeted plan for the each mu of the arable land, make sure that they plant that suitable products, and also need to further increase the proportion of quality land. And for the Chernobyl land, we need to have a better protection, make sure that they could be the best land for use. And talking about this ecological conservation, we need to think about that we should be a systematic management of the resources. And we should find the water in order to lock the land, and also if that the available natural resources nearby, we need to think about how to better leverage that kind of the resources to the best effect and usage. By doing so, we would like to create that beautiful landscape so people could enjoy that beautiful landscape and also recall their childhood memory. I believe they could be a new fashion for the people. For some wrongdoing, especially impact people's well-being and also damage the natural resources and ecology, we should also punish these kind of activities in order to protect people's rights. And we know that this is actually a hard job to do, and we also need to take the toughest measure to protect our arable land. And also for the whole society, we also need to keep our awareness of that this arable land is very valuable, and we need to make sure that for each and every mu of the land they use for their best purpose. And we should need to ensure that all these arable land evolve at the right line and make sure that the football is safely held in our hands. Thank you.
Next question, please. 谢谢主持人。文汇报记者提问，关部长
Thank you. I'm
您
with
好。
文
今
汇报。
年要推动三北工程标志性战役取得重要成果。
This year we are going to
想请
make
部长介
important
绍一下工程
breakthroughs
建设有
regarding the
关
three
情况。
North Shelterbelt, and can you tell us the latest progress in this regard? Thank you for your question. The three North Shelterbelt program is a national initiative and it's a milestone of China's ecological efforts. In 2013, when President Xi Jinping was visiting Bayan-Nor of Inner Mongolia, he called for the Chinese to create even a greater miracle in Shelterbelt. Over the years, thanks to the unified leadership from the central government, government agencies at different levels and the state-owned enterprises as well as the private sector have worked together to finish an area of 720,000 in the northwestern part of the country. We have initiated a number of key programs which are well underway, and in the Khartoum Desert, the Gobi Desert is being turned back into grassland. In Kubuchi, we have delivered a grass belt that is 400 kilometers long. We have solar power and solar power panels which are reflecting the landscape of the desert. The second largest landscape of the whole world is now blessed with the green belt, laying the groundwork for systemic solutions going forward. The Three North Shelterbelt program in the new era pays more attention to innovation in governance models, and we pay even closer attention to the integration of social and economic benefits. We're using solar power to facilitate our desertification efforts. We also built more roads to counteract the desert. In so doing, we're also yielding benefits to the local residents. We have issued a total of 150 million yuan worth of subsidy, which mobilized 200,000 people to get engaged in the desertification efforts. We also pay more attention to international exchange and cooperation. In so doing, we are contributing Chinese wisdom and Chinese solutions to the global efforts of desertification. At the end of last year, at the High Contracting Parties Conference in Saudi Arabia regarding desertification, we presented China's efforts and practice, which won great recognition from the international community. A number of new solutions, for example, desertification through road building and green belt, have won high recognition from the whole world. Entering spring, we have deployed more task forces to the front line. In the new era, we will remember the important instruction of General Secretary, act in a spirit of the Three North Shelterbelt, defy all the odds, and make sure that every tree that we plant can grow into big trees, so as to make sure that we can make meaningful and milestone breakthroughs regarding the Three North Shelterbelt. And tomorrow, we're going to celebrate the 47th Tree Planting Day. I sincerely welcome each and every one of you to get engaged in the Three North Shelterbelt activity. Let's reinforce the ecological barrier in China's north and tell the story of man-nature harmony. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's welcome the second minister, Minister of Culture and Tourism, Mr. Sun Yeli. Good afternoon. Now the floor is open to questions.
请南区这位穿深蓝色的女记者提问。
谢谢主持人。
With CMG, a question to Mr. Sun. In the past year, people has highly interested in participating in the tourism and the cultural activities. But for different companies, different regions feel the different heat of that wave. And some companies, they got a lot of benefits from it. But some people or companies saying that you could see this is a big wave, but we could really make a little from that. So what's your view on this? Thank you for your question. First of all, I'd like to take this opportunity for journalists for your support and participate in the cultural and the tourist activities. Yes, indeed, as you said, that the heat wave of the cultural and the tourist activities actually have been continued. We could see above the designated size that the companies and industries in this regard realize that 14 trillion RMB revenue and a 6% increase year by year. And we have 310,000 registered companies in this regard, 7% increase in this regard as well. You could see this show a very strong growth momentum. The scale of the tourist industry last year, we have seen that the 1.6 billion people traveled, spending 570 billion RMB. And in terms of inbound tourism, we have received 132 million people coming to China for tourism. They spent around that's around 90 billion the US dollars, almost to 100 billion. Of course, the number only reflects one side of the picture. Talk about our own observation experience, especially during that holidays. The old destination, tourism destination, said that we actually, all the people in the country came to our site. You could see the museum, the big concerts. It's really hard to get a ticket. And we talk about night schools. And also people said it's really hard to make a reservation. So you could see that the income and revenue actually is increased. And more people actually practice or involved in the activities. And also for the profit margin actually is around 9%. That's quite the awesome result. For the A-level scenic spots and for the resort, and also the revenue for the tourist agencies actually all have seen that big increase. And the increase rate above at least 10%. Yes, indeed, as you said, for the companies in different regions, they feel the different level of heat. And also some companies in this regard also face some difficulties in operation. We also look into details in this regard. You could talk about China enjoys a vast market with a large number of entities. For each year, of course, there could be some enterprises. They did not survive and also withdrew from the market. For the culture and tourism industry, we could talk about the reason behind all this phenomenon. I believe could be that the consumption upgrading cause a diversity in this market. So that's also the different performance of different companies. We could see that people actually have a higher requirement needs of the cultural and tourist products. People previously spend a lot on food, but right now they spend a lot on service. People before they pay a lot of attention on the value, but right now people pay more attention about that the aesthetic and emotional value. So people right now actually believe that I spent money. Of course, first I have that kind of a need, and then that's also for my passion. I love it. I would like to spend money on it. This is how that the people consumption behavior change.
人民群众这种消费需求升级的情况，
So
不断
this
推
is
出
the
新产品、
background
新设
that the
计，
people upgrade
不断提高
their
服务质量的
consumption
这样
on
的
the
企业呢，
culture
它影
and
响了这个
tourism.
行业。
So for
你
the
比如说，我
companies,
们
they
对
get
面
up,
国
they
家博
get
物
in
馆
line with this
去
trend,
年推
they
出了
could
一
make
款新设计
that
的冰
benefit
箱
from
贴
it.
叫
So you
做
could
风
see
光
that the
的样子。
museum
这个一推出来，因
actually
为设计很
they
好，
had
推出来以后
a
呢，
very
就成
good
为宝
a
款。
product.
很多人非常喜欢，一大早就
So
到博物馆
actually, a
门
lot
口
of
排队，
people
就是为
really
了买这个冰
love
贴。
that because that's the a
因为当时呢，也没想到这么受喜欢、受欢迎，
magnet
所以每天生产量
badge.
有
So
限，
that's
大
the
家排
for
队
the
经常买
fridge.
到的
So
就到
people
不去
actually could
买
see
不到
they
就觉得很
got up in the very early morning. They
半年下来，
line
这个
up
冰
in
箱
front
贴
of
卖
the
了
National
80万。
Museum, and also more than
有
800,000
好的产品，不愁无
of
消费，
that
不愁无
magnet
现赚。
sold last year. So
在旅游
it
方面，你
tells
想，
the
有
truth
在
that as
有
long
的
as you
地方
have
还在为
that right product,
这个为了
then
多吸
you
引
could
游
make
客在
profit
当
from
地
that.
多注意范畴的这么一个情况下，你像云南已经开始
In
培
Yunnan
育
province, right now you
旅居
could
云南的项
see
目。
that they also have a
他们不
program
是简
that
单的想着
inviting
吸引
people
游客在
stay
这
a
儿多住一
longer
夜，
period
而是
in
要
Yunnan. They
多
now
过
just want
一
people
夜
to spend
多
one
过一
more
季
night.
甚至
They
多
would
过
like
几年。
the tourists to spend
据当地
a
的
season
据云南
there,
同志反映，你比如
or
说
at least
去
a
年
quarter time period there.
旅居云南的人数
So
达到
last year we could see
389万，平均旅居的天数是80
3.89 million people spent
这
at
将近
least 80
400万人
days there.
80天的旅
So we
居消
talk about
费
that 4 million
保守的
people
估计
with
也得
80
有
days stay there,
400-500亿
they could
就有力
spend
的带动了这个地方的
that 40 to
消费
50 billion RMB there. So that could be also a big booster
不愁
to
没有
drive
不
the
愁赚不到
local
钱。
consumption market.
那么特别受欢迎的是，现在还有一些就是说
And
文化
also
旅
we
游科
could
技结
see
合推出的一些
that
新的
is
作品
also
新
some
产品。
new
你
products
像现在有
empowered
些
by
城市推出的这
technologies.
个沉浸式的
So we talk about immersive experience. We talk about performance with this immersive technology. They invest a little, but they gain
一年能演出
a
几
buck
百场上
from
线。
that. And also for each year, this kind of performance is more
动
than
漫电影不用
1,000
说了，今
times.
年的这个
And this year, we
男孩
have to
现在
mention
票
that
房收入
哪吒
已经
2, of course, right
接近
now,
150亿了。
that's almost to
所以
that
有好的产
15
品
million
有好的服务，有
ticket
好的项
box.
目，好的
So
设
we
计，
talk about as long you have the good
可以赚
that
钱。
the
相反，
products
如果
that
跟
you
不上
could
人民群众
always
这种
have
消费需求不断升级
that
的
meet people's
变化的
need.
情
So
况
you
不
need
能
to that
主
be
动地去
aligned
推出
yourself, your
产品
product, your service
不能提
with
高服务
people's
质量的产品
upgraded
为卖点没有特
consumption.
点
So
你
need to
有
think
没有好
about
的服务
that
质
what
量
kind of product you
那
attract
老百姓就
that
不
the
买单不
consumers,
买账。
why they pay for you.
所以你说的这个温差，对
So you talk about
实际上
that
呢
heat
它也是一种压差，
differences
是一种压
that
力
also could be
倒逼
translated
我们
as a
文化
differences
和旅
in
游企
pressure.
业
So that
不断地
force
适应
that
人民
companies
群众消
in
费
this
需求
market, in these
升级的这种
industries,
情况
to also increase or improve
推进
their
行
products
业
and
的高质量
services
发展
in order
相
to
信呢，只
realize
有我们
high
坚
quality
持不懈
development.
地推动
I believe as long as we
高质量发
make
展
more
大
efforts
家
in this
都
regard,
能像你说的
we
赚到
could,
盆满
I
钵
believe
谢谢
everyone could get
好，
a piece of
请继续
cake
提
from
问
that.
好，请北区靠南侧的那位穿浅咖色的女记者提问。
Next question, please.
谢谢主持人，部长您好。中
Good
国青年
afternoon.
报、中国
I'm
青
with
年报、
China
中国
Youth
青年网
Daily
记者提
and
问。
its associated website.
去年，习近平总书记在地
Last
方
year,
考
General
察时
Secretary
多次
Xi,
强调，把
when
文化
he
旅游业培
visited
育成支
different
柱
parts of
产
the
业。
country, he said
对
we
于文
need
化
to
旅游业作为
cultivate
支柱
the
产业，您怎么理解？
tourism industry
文化
as
和旅游
the
部
pillar
对打造
industry
这
of
一
the
新
country.
的
What
支
is
柱
your
产
take on
业
this?
有哪
And
些
what
考虑和打算？谢谢。
plans do
谢谢
you
你
have
的提问。
to implement this
习近平总书记
vision?
和党中央非
Thank you for your
常
question.
重视
President
文
Xi
化
and
和
the
旅游业
Party Central Committee
发展。
attach great importance
去
to
年
the
党中
development
央
of
批准
culture and
召
tourism
开
industry. And last
全国
year,
首次旅游发展大会，
the
习近平
first
总书记
tourism development
做出重要
conference
的
was
指示
held, and General Secretary Xi
赋予了
made important
旅游业
instructions.
战略性支柱产业的这么一个定位。
He has
去年在
positioned
多地的
the
考
culture
察
and
的时候，
tourism
习近
industry
平总
as
书记
a
也反复
key
强调要
supporting
把文化
industry of
和
our
旅游业
economy. And while visiting numerous localities, he said that we have to cultivate the tourism industry as a pillar of the Chinese economy. And this is a great inspiration for the culture and tourism industry. We believe, and this is due to President Xi's deep understanding about the pattern of modernization in different countries as well as in developed countries, and this is a scientific conclusion he has drawn in terms of the journey of modernization. If you take a look at the journey in other countries, culture and tourism industry played a very important role even to this day. The culture and tourism industry in some developed countries, they account for a big portion of their national economy. In some of the countries, it accounts for more than 20% of the economy. In China, the culture and tourism industry, they account for 4% and 5% respectively. Combined, they account for 9% of China's economy. So this is a very good foundation, but we still have tremendous amount of room for future development. Given China's social and economic development trend, we can see a greater driving force of consumption. Right now, one of the key factor that is impeding China's economy is sluggish domestic spending. So we can let culture and tourism industry play a much bigger role because it involves multiple groups of population and different consumption scenarios and a very long consumption chain. So culture and tourism industry can play a very important role in boosting domestic consumption. We have been earnestly learning and understanding the important instruction made by President Xi. We believe transforming culture and tourism industry into a key pillar of our economy will empower China's high-quality development. This is only fitting for the time being and for future periods of time. How to cultivate the culture and tourism industry into a key pillar of our economy? We have our own understandings. For example, number one, we need to allow planning to play a leading role. The culture and tourism industry should be incorporated into the drafting of national social and economic development plans so that from the level of strategic planning, we can make some space for the culture and tourism industry. Meanwhile, we support different localities to adopt varied approaches based on their own realities so that we can put in place targeted measures in this regard. For example, we also need to strengthen the construction of infrastructure in tourism to cultivate the culture and tourism industry as a key pillar of the Chinese economy. This is a requirement from the top level of government. So we have to invest in tourism-related infrastructure. And since the opening up and reform policy, and since in particular entering the new era, China has invested heavily in culture and tourism. But if we are talking about a pillar industry or a key industry of the Chinese economy, we are still lagging behind in terms of infrastructure building, and there are some weak links in the culture and tourism industry. So in the future, we will have to mobilize more support to supplement those weak links. Additionally, we have to cultivate new business scenarios. We have, for example, sightseeing tours, maritime tours, immersive experience of tourism, among others. So we have to be inclusive, take an open approach, and play a serving role to facilitate the growth of these new business scenarios and business modes. In particular, we have to support the integration of culture industry with technology. So technology can truly empower the cultural and tourism industry.
再有呢，就是要优化营商环境。
We also need to optimize the business environment and scrutinize the market order. For any industry to succeed, we need to cultivate a number of fine enterprises. And for them to flourish, we need to have a good business environment and a sound market order. Well, the culture and tourism industry grows over years, and we have seen a disorderly pattern of development, and there are good enterprises as well as bad enterprises, and we have forced spending in some localities, which undermines the travel experience of our tourists, and they also harm the image of a city. It's heartbreaking and even disappointing to see this phenomenon popping up in different localities. So that is why in this year we plan to carry out some special initiatives against those wrongdoings. Number one, we are going to strengthen our effort in cracking down those violations. Number two, we are going to improve the system of law and regulations and set up some standards. Additionally, we are going to put credibility in the first place to create a social atmosphere that pays attention to credibility. Whenever a new cultural and tourism product is out there on the market, then there is a flood of enterprises going into that business, causing negative competition. So we have to straighten their behaviors so as to reshape the marketplace. So in our analysis, there is a lot we can do to cultivate the culture and tourism industry into a pillar industry, and we have to translate the vision and instruction of President Xi into reality. And to that end, we remain committed, and we believe that the culture and tourism industry will be cultivated into a key industry of the national economy. It will meet people's aspiration for better lives and even contribute further to China's socialist modernization drive. Thank you.
Let's welcome the third minister to the corridor. It's the Director of the General Administration of Sport, Mr. Gao Zhidan.
好，请大家提问。
The floor is
请南
open.
区这位面对我的黑色西装的男记者提问。
好，谢谢主持人。新华社记者提问。
Xinhua News
高市长好
Agency.
在巴黎奥
Good
运会上，
afternoon.
中国代表
In the
团
Paris
体代表团
Olympic
取得了历
stage,
史性
we
的突
could
破。
see
中
that
国
the
的
Chinese
女健儿
delegations
们就
and
昂扬向
athletes
上，
got a
备
new
受网
record
民的欢
high.
迎，
They
备受国人的
excelled
喜
in
爱，
the market. They
频频
loved
地
by
刷
the
屏，
country
也
and
成为了
people,
热词热
and
搜。
also
想
sport
请问
always
下一
become
步
the
体
trending
育工
topic.
作的重点在
And
哪些
what's
方
the
面？
key
谢谢。
focus of the agenda
谢谢
next
你的
year?
提问。借此机会，也感谢
Thank
媒
you
体
for
朋
your
友
question.
和
I'd
各
like to
界对
first
体育
take
工
this
作的关心和
opportunity
支持。
to say a big thank you for your support.
在党中央、
for
国
our
务院
work.
坚强领导
Yes, indeed, as
和
you've
全国人
said,
民的大力
under
支
the
持下，
strong leadership of
巴
the
黎奥
Civic
运会
Central
上，
Committee
我
and
举健儿
State
取得
Council,
了
and
境外
also
参赛
loved by the
最好
people,
成
that
绩，
our delegates,
充
our
分彰
athletes
显了
got the
新
best
时代
performance
中国
in
精
the
神、中国力量。
Paralympic and
中国形
Paralympic
象。
stage, and
我
show
们
that the
特别
Chinese
关注到
strengths and
在
also the
媒体的
Chinese image.
广泛报道
And also with
和社会各界
the
的关注中，
media's coverage
运动
and
员
also the
所展
public
现出的
attention, and
体育
the
精神、
athletes
文化
also
素
showed
养
as
和个
sportsmanship
人魅力，
and
与
culture
他们取
and
得的
their
优异成绩一样，受
personal
到了
charisma
高度的重视和点赞。
also
可以说是
receive a lot of
是
like
体育的
online.
国家自信
I believe
和
that it also
形象
showed
得到了充分的
that
展
the
示。
confidence
正
and
可
also
是
the strengths
就是
of the
充分
China's
展现了我
sports
们国家发展的
prowess
新时代发
that
展的
also showed
形象，也
that
印证
the
了
a new
国运
image
兴
of
则
China.
体育兴，国
And
家
also
强
we talk
则
about
体育强。
that if China is strong, then the sports industry
体
will
育
also strong.
是提高人民健康水
And
平
also,
的重
as
要
the
途
General
径。
Secretary Xi
是
says
满足人
that
民群
the
众
sports
对
a
美
very
好生活
important
向往
way to meet the people's evergreen needs for a better life.
是促进
It's a
经济社
very
会发展
important
的
way
重要动力。
to improve people's
是展
life
示
and also to
国家文
drive
化
that
软实
economic
力
and
的
social development
重要
and
平台。
also a very important
我们不
platform
仅
to
要
show
在
that
竞
the
技
soft
体育
power
领
of
域
the country.
奋勇争
We
先，
should
为
also
国
to
争
excel
光，
in the
更
competitive
要发挥好
sports
体育
arena.
的多元价
We
值
should also
和功能。
to show that
服务
the
人民
different
健康，
functions
惠及
and also
经济
values
社会
of the
和民生。
sports in order to
锚定
benefit
2035年
the
建
people's
成体育
well-being,
强国的
people's
奋斗目
livelihood,
标。
and also
再
to
接再
realize
厉，
the goal
改革
that
创
by
新，
2035 we
谱写
should
事业
build
发展
China
的
into a
新
leading
篇章。
sports nation and also write a
我们
new
要在
chapter
体
for
育
the
改
sports
革上
industry.
寻求新
In
突破。
terms of reform, we need to
党的
find a
23
new
中全
driving
会
force.
做出完善全
At
面
the
健身
third plenary
公共
session
服务
of the
体系
20th
改革完
Party
善竞技体育管理体
Central
制
Committee,
和运
and
行
we
机制
said
的
that
战
we
略部
should
署。
also to
政府
make
工作
that
报
the
告
strategic
也对
arrangement
体育改
for
革
the system
提出了
and
要
also
求。
the reform. And
我们正
also
在
we know
积
that
极
very
研究
clear
制定
targets
体育强
and
国建
missions to
设
perform in
指
this
标
regard
体系
in terms
和
of the
深化体
a
育
strong
改革的
a
有关方案，
powerhouse
着力打造
and
全
also
国一
the
盘棋，
reform.
建
We
设
right
体
now
育
also
强国
make
的
the action
新格局。
plan in order to make sure that
通
we
过
could
深化
further
体育改
mobilize
革，
that the
为
country
群众
on
提供
the
更高水平的
one
体育公共服
master
务
plan
和产品，
and also to
建立
provide better
更有利于
service and
提
products
升竞
in
技
the
体育水
sports
平的
industry.
新
And
型
also
和
we
体
need
制，
to think about how we
构建
could build a
科学规范，
new system that could
运行
further
高效
mobilize the national
充满活
resources
力的
to
体育治理
improve
体
that
系，
the capabilities
让宏观
at
政策
the competitive
更完善，
sports industry.
治理体系
And also we
更
need to
现
think
代，
about how we could
市场机
modernize
制
our
更灵
management
活，
system and also
服务
how
保
to
障
cooperate
更
with the
充分，
markets and to
地域
provide
特色
a
更
better
鲜明，
security
使中国体
and
育
also to
更具
showcase
人民
that
性
the a different regional
时代性
features. So
竞
for
争
the
力
sports events, that first
我们要在
competitive, but
体育
also at the
会
same
议
time
上
could
取得
show that the
新成
different
效，
features
积极
representing
回
the
应
different places.
广大青少年，
And also
特别是
we should think
不断
about
增大
the
的
youth
老龄群体
as well as
日
elderly
趋多
people,
元的体育需求，
because they have that quite
与时俱进，
diverse and increased
加快
needs for
全民健身
practicing sports.
场地设
So
施
that
和
fitness
一
for
次
all
升级，
activities,
丰富
we need to think about how
群
to
众体
better
育赛事
improve
和
that
健身
the
产品的
sports
供给，
facilities for the public and
我
also
们要
increase
从
supply
娃娃
of these
发起，
kind of facilities.
不断丰
And
富
also for
青
youth,
少
we
年体育
also
的
need
内
to
涵和
enrich
方式，
that the content
广大青
and
少年
ways for,
在运
of
动
young
中
people
强意志，
and also encourage young
健身
people
心。
to
我
build
们
up
要
their mind and
加大
strengths,
科技创
mentally
新，
and physically.
扩大开放交流，
And also we
巩
need
固
to
好奥运强国
conduct
建设
more
的
the
成果。
international exchanges
做好
and also to further
米兰冬奥会
consolidate the
洛杉矶
results
奥运
gained
会
in
的
Paris
准备
and
工作，
also to do the preparation
在巩固
for
传统
the
优势项目的
Milan
同时，
events
在
and also
田
the
径
Los Angeles
三大球
events and
等
also
基
for
础
that
和重点项目上
the key
力争取
sports
得
like
实质性的
basketball, volleyball, football, and
在
also
去
that the
年
basic
成功举
items
办
like
第
the
一届全国青少年
track
三大球运动
and
会的基
field,
础上
we，also need to think about
今
how
年
to make
我们还
better
将创
results.
设
And
全国
this
青少
year
年
we will
田
also
径运
will
动会
have that the
多做
national track and
夯
field
实体育发展的
competition for
基础
youth in order to
我
further
们要在体育产
consolidate
业上闯出新路子，
the foundations
重点
for
聚
young
焦
people to practice
赛事经
sports.
济、户
And
外经
also
济、
we would like to
冰雪经济，
put more focus
全面对
on
接
how to further boost the
扩大内
economies
需
in
区域
the ice
发
and
展
snow area
科
and
技
also the
创
outdoor
新
activities.
和
Need
绿色
to
转
think
型
about that the green
更好发
transformation
挥
that could be happen in this
体育
regard
在
in a more
优化
innovative
城市
way
功能，
and also that
提升
how the
城市
sports
形
can
象，
play its role
助
to
力
improve
乡村
that the
振兴，
city's image, to
推
make
动
the contribution
区
to
域
rural
协调发展
revitalization
扩
and
大
to
对
make
外开放
contribution
等方
to
面的独特
promote
作
the
用，
regional
释放
coordinated
体育消费的
development
潜力，
and to unleash the
推动
potential
体育加
of sports
融合发展
consumption
模式，
and also the integration
扩为增
model
量，
of sports
让体
plus.
育成为更多地方
So
发
all
展
in
的
all, we would
新
like
名片
to let sports
和拉动
become
内需，
one of the name
促
card
进消费的
of that local's
新引擎，
development and to
更
also
好赋
become
能
a new driver to boost the economy and also to drive economic social development. In terms of increase the soft power of the country, we also need to think about something new we could do. So we talk about this is the spirit of the country and also a treasure of the country. So we should further leverage the sports to play its role in increasing patriotism and also to put sports in the new era, in the current context, and also to enlarge the brand of sports and also tell a good story about sports in China. And also for the fandom, we also need to make sure that the fandom or the toxic fandom not erode sports.
好，请继续提问。
Thank you.
好，请北区靠中间那位穿深色西装的男记者提问。
Next question, please.
谢谢主持人，总台中国之声记者提问。
Thank you,
高局长您好。
CMG and Radio of China. My question is related to ice and snow sports. The Harbin Winter Games injected more momentum to winter sports, and people see that ice and snow are also invaluable assets. So my question is, how do we flourish the winter sports economy through winter sports? Thank you for your question. Winter sports and winter sports economy, they are buzzwords right now. And during the two sessions, and they have received great attention from the deputies. As you have mentioned, the Asian Winter Games in the past winter brought a lot of attention to Harbin, and in the southern part of the country, those winter sports facilities, they have been occupied by people. So the winter sports have brought a craze into winter sports economy and relevant business scenarios. In recent years, we have implemented the vision of President Xi to bring winter sports to 300 million people. We are also acting in a spirit of flourishing the winter economy. We have been constantly improving the facilities of winter sports, and we have rolled out a number of initiatives, for example, the National Winter Sports Season and bringing winter sports to campus. In so doing, we have been flourishing the winter economy. During the bidding and the hosting process of the Olympic Winter Games of Beijing, and you can see a huge number of youth who were riding the waves on their snowboards, and right now the leaders, they are leading athletes on many arenas. And during the Harbin Asian Winter Games, the athletes, they went all out and created a record in history. So we have been promoting the construction of winter sports facilities, and during the 14th five-year plan, China has added 417 winter sports facilities in numerous farms. In Hulenbeer, the first ski resort in the city was introduced. The vast people from the general public, and they are able to experience the joy of skiing right by their doorsteps. And in other parts of the country, you can see a lot of ski resorts being rolled out. And winter sports have driven China's economy. The winter sports culture is in the formation, and it's integrated with a lot of innovation, and you can see that there are more and more types of sports facilities and gears in the three northeastern provinces in Beijing, Tianjin, and Hebei in China's northwest. You can see that winter sports are integrated with tourism, and throughout different regions, there is a high level of coordination. At the end of last year, the General Office of State Council circulated the opinions on boosting China's winter sports industry, which laid out plans for the further development of the winter sports industry. Since entering this current ice and snow season, we have hosted 58 international ice and snow events, including the Asian Winter Games. And we have received a total of more than 190 million visitors with our winter sports facilities, up by 28% in the 3 northeastern provinces in Inner Mongolia and in Xinjiang. The traffic of ski resorts exceeded 76 million in Guangdong and Sichuan, 2 southern provinces. Their ski resorts, they are ranking second in terms of visitors, reaching 44 and 38 million respectively. We also have an increase of 30.2% of growth in terms of inbound skiers from overseas, and the total revenue hit 35 billion RMB. Going forward, we're going to further implement the spirit of the Central Economic Conference and the government work reports, so as to allow the winter sports to drive even greater economic development. We will stabilize the basic fundamentals of the 1 trillion RMB worth of market skill for the winter sports, and by 2030 we're going to have a total market skill of 2.5 trillion RMB for this industry. On this basis, we're going to step up in terms of the making of winter sports gears and facilities and sports tourism, and we will invest both financially and from a policy perspective, so as to facilitate the growth of winter sports enterprises. By introducing more policies, we will drive even greater consumption in this regard. In terms of the products offering, we encourage different localities to host high-end winter sports competitions. In so doing, they will generate a huge number of travelers, and they will also be able to transform their different localities into high-end destinations for sports tourism. In so doing, ski lovers from overseas, they will gain more understanding about Yabuli, Beidahu, Aletai, among other ski resorts, and more skiers from overseas will travel into China for skiing and for tourism. And additionally, we have to strike a balance between development and safety. We will cultivate more winter sports talents and mobilize the public to get engaged in winter sports, and we will draft more standards, constantly improve the service capability of winter facilities, and improve the coordination between winter sports and sports economy, and constantly drive the high-quality growth of the winter sports economy. All right, thank you very much to Minister Gao. Dear friends from the media, and this is the end of the Minister's Corridor. I look forward to seeing you again next year. Thank you.